Wassail Beautiful People. So today we're doing New Moon, but we're going to do continue along the ephemeris chart that I did for you and explain what's going on. So let's just get a little bit more Palo Santo in the air just to make sure we're on the right track. Put that over there, get the keyboard down. So I've moved my microphone in front of me, hoping that when I make any vocal sounds, it'll pick up the harmonics better rather than it being under here, focusing on my chest voice. So we're beginning on the 11th of the 11th, 2020, because that's a portal gateway that's opening. So we're going to begin first, before we look at the fact that the moon trines Saturn that day as well at 10:58. We're going to actually have a look at the portal. So I've got the double Anna Stark deck. Just because we have. So Anna Stark and Louis Dyer, Elohim, ancestors, spirits. I want to say Syrians, like there's a connection to them today. We'll see. What would you like to tell us about this 1111 gateway portal? That was weird, that kind of flash, pulled back, flashed back again, and then a second card fell with it. A card which I just can't bear because the artwork's so bad. Not this first one. So, what is this? It's a new frequency portal. It's a 6 and a 5. It's an 11. So, we have a new frequency portal. This is a card that I can't bear the artwork on. It's medicine. It's just like the most cartoon indigenous person I've ever seen in my life. Whereas look, amazing artwork, clumsy artwork. Just saying. So yes, this portal is something, I'm clearly getting the energy that it's something that's opening from Sirius or from somewhere galactically far and distant, but we need to know what it's to do with. So I'm going to use the Tarot Grand Luxe today, which I don't use very often, partly because they've become, they're about the ego, but they've also been talking to me a lot and they keep giving me messages about the American election, but hopefully now that's past, they should stop doing that. Well, I hope so. So, I'm not taking those because I'm not paying attention. I was too busy thinking about the American election. It's finished. So, can we please have a message about this 1111 portal gateway? Can we please have a message about this 1111 portal gateway? Can we please have a message about this 1111 portal gateway? So we have the moon, which is interesting because the moon will be going trine with Saturn at 10:58 GMT UCT, and that's a harmonious aspect. And it's like the energy of this. Oh, okay. This is really big frequency changes. The new moon, when it arrives, is another supermoon, and there is this real sense of this energy really filling the sky. I don't just mean the moon energy though. I mean that this portal that's opening on the other side of the galaxy almost is like it's like a divine masculine portal. I don't know why, they're just telling me it's a divine masculine portal. Oh, okay. The frequency is coming to start to affect molecules, atoms. I'm seeing it as like they're showing showing me it in my head as a sperm. So, which is why I know it's divine masculine. And then we have 274. This is talking about how it's a portal that's bringing down two energies. It's bringing into focus the energy of Saturn. Oh, and the energy of Jupiter. Okay. So this is like the setup energy of the Great Conjunction. Sorry, my brain's doing maths with them. They're kind of showing me something which isn't that funny, but they think it is, which is it's 1111, which can become the idea of a 2 in Roman numerals, a 2, that sense of 11. So you can get that idea of a 2 and an 11, which they're trying to point out that it's a series of 1 and 2s. It's not it's not working. It's not as funny and as clever as they think it is the point that I'm that I'm making. I was trying really hard to make that funny. They're laughing. It's not that funny. It's, it's clever. You can look at the fact that an 11 is 2 1s, which is 2 1 12. That's what they're saying. It's just not that funny. But, it has a mathematical, numerological significance, they're saying. So this is about the beginning of a vision that you have to hold fixed as we head towards this thing. It's like the gates open. This is the beginning of the energy of Saturn and Jupiter. Now, Saturn and Jupiter are E and F. They're like a blade coming in, and their energy goes inside everything and then pushes through and will separate us out. It's like cutting a slice of bread. It's getting right inside the loaf. And the frequency we're in at the moment, that loaf, and they just want to, freshly baked, they want to cut it open and let all the energy and the steam come out. So, we have 7. We have the 7 of Pentacles. This is the real world. This energy frequency coming down, this divine masculine energy, to change the molecules, to bring about a sense of harvesting something. It's a renewal. It's a kind of like they're saying seeds planted before time almost. It's like these are seeds that have always been waiting for their particular moment as this energy of the spheres moves into its divine magic that is creating this they're showing me springtime, that this is a new springtime. Now, for most people in the Northern Hemisphere, which is 90% of the world's population lives in the Northern Hemisphere, we're in the middle of winter at that point. But for the Southern Hemisphere, it's spring. Spring begins. No, spring's already begun. It's the summer solstice, but it's growth. It's the point of these new energies growing. But they're saying to me, it's like a springtime that's coming upon us. So we have the 4 of Cups. I'm getting 2 different energies from this. I'm getting the energy of this renewal, this new cup coming down, this cosmic gift, this new And it is almost like a new bell ringing. It's interesting, because they told me not to use my bell today, but so there is a new sonorous sound coming down. But the other thing I'm getting from this card is this kind of, I want to say, false prayers for divine assistance. It's what they're trying to say is, you don't need to pray for this intervention. It's coming. There's nothing we can do. We just need to witness it, but we also need to be ready to step away from these 3 cups, which are representing a sense of joy, but this is a new joy, a new birthing energy that's coming in. So let's have, I'm going to put a Chemin de Laval on top of that. It's caught on my wrist. Yeah, we have La Traversée. The journeying, the changing, the frequency is what I'm getting, the rewriting, the connections, the blueprints being reorganized, molecules being changed. This is the portal that opens the pathway to this molecular transformation. Okay, so what they're saying is they're saying physicists won't get this. They'll say it can't happen. Whereas quantum physicists will be going, haha, we knew that was coming. So there's divisions in terms of the ability to accept the new reality that is forming from this. I want to say this kind of clockwork melody. It's like something's been wound up, and now finally you can't wind it anymore, and you have to let go and just watch the clockwork toy or the little ballerina, whatever it is, do its dance, because there's no way of us changing this. So what else would you like to tell us about this 1111 portal? What else is it concerning? The 1111 portal. Okay, it's la rêve, it's the dream, but it's not really what I'm getting from this. This is about rewriting energetic codes. Again, oh, you know, you can see a similar thing. It's like everything is being rewritten within this frequency, this beautiful 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 balance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 balance, triangle, triangle, diamond, scorpionic energy hidden within it. It's the 1111 just down here. Transformation, rebirthing, and look, the music of the spheres is floating all around. It's just, we've reached that point where the energy is coming down. It's a massive new vibrational frequency linked to Saturn and Jupiter as it heads in to slice through. Okay, so that's the portal. Now from my list, Moon trine Saturn in Virgo, 1058, and then it goes void of course, meaning it has no other aspects, the moon, with anything else until it enters a new house, when it enters Libra. So let's begin with, this is a really quite a nice harmonious feeling. And what is the moon doing as it trines Saturn Oh, one card back to front. So we have a divine 9. Oh, is it not an... No, today's an 8. Today's a numerological 8. 11/11/2020 adds up to 8. So we have divine consciousness. It's almost like there's a thing in astrology called a yod, which is a perfect equilateral triangle, which is 3 aspects that can turn up in some people's natal charts, and then when those planets form that alliance again later in their life, it's like a finger of God points on you. So we are in a collective finger of God moment, a yod, a global yod where everything is pointing down. It's almost that energy driving through to bring around change. And I'm getting a strong sense of Uranus, Gaia. Shh. There's a sense of breaking rules, changing the frequency of consciousness, bringing a new energy around. I'm sensing a change in the frequency of ego. I'm seeing a very shadowy again peacock, which is that ghost of a peacock energy again, but this one's more like a series of sapphires visually that's to do with communication. Clear communication is forming as part of this. Oh, okay, so it's about connecting into the grid. Oh, I can see it now. Because the other card we've got is compassion. So we have the divine consciousness coming down through our head, and then the energy of the earth opening to receive that divine consciousness. But here's the interesting part. That energy that we need to put into the love. She's holding a blue lotus of communication, and it's about communicating the old and seeing that as something to cradle and to embrace, but that the new important part is the F sharp of the higher heart, where we love others. It's changing our heart chakras on a molecular level. That actually came up as a communication and then burst inside my throat. They're laughing at me because I didn't laugh at their joke. So, back to the F sharp. Sorry, there's a fly sitting on my keyboard and it looks like it's gone to sleep. I think I've charmed the life out of it. So, compassion. We've got to connect with the compassion for others, because what we're trying to do is we're trying, as we build towards this great conjunction, to have passed through aligning our sacral and our heart chakras, bringing the two together. So bringing that of Saturn and we've got the moon. So we're trying to create this weird cluster. You see, it's still very uncomfortable and dissonant, and it's needing that energy of the conjunction to separate and cut through things. So, compassion. Let's go again with this deck of the ego. Can we please have the big spillage, but we've taken them so that no one complains. So again, we've got an echo of divine consciousness. 9 of Pentacles. This is about divine consciousness reaching into the earth, being part of that red root chakra. I just changed to this shirt thinking something says red. So it's like a realignment of your molecules coming in and earthing into the ground. And she holds a hawk, a hooded hawk. And it's almost like partly that you have to sort of disconnect yourself from spirit as part of this connection into the crystalline grid. You have to trust earth frequencies, not spirit frequencies. So you need to kind of just cover yourself, disconnect. Now, there was another message. Oh, disconnect from everybody. You can't make this divine blueprint frequency change. Sorry, I'm also getting the sense of saying veil off spirit when you do a meditation with a tree. So you can't take anyone else with you. The way to move through into the earth grid and earth these energies into the earth grid so that there's a memory of your new consciousness there is to let go and just trust that the earth is opening this compassion to keep everybody else safe. But what you're trying to do is it's almost like you're going down to put your X or to mark your name, plant your flag in the earth grid. It's like going down and signing on the dotted line of a pre-incarnation contract that you made before coming here to connect with the earth. You've got to go and fill in that form by going down into the earth grid. So, what's coming? Blimey. I want to say it's like a tidying up. Look, that first card about bringing down that divine feminine consciousness and all this red energy, it's to do with this frequency of energetic rainbows. This is the Billrust. It's the frequency that comes down. Look, many people will say spiritual light is white consciousness, and that's true. When you mix all of the energetic colours together, they form white, whereas when we take things in the 3D world such as paints and mix them all together, eventually they become black. So there's reversals in terms of the visible frequencies on the 3D world and the invisible frequencies. Oh, okay, in a minute. Of of light. Light works differently. They're wanting me to say that part of this is to do with perception of light. If you look at a rainbow, they're not the best rainbows, but there's a colour, purple, that doesn't really exist in the rainbow. Neither does aquamarine, which is a paradise ray. But they don't exist, apparently, in the little cones in our eyes that create colours. Purple is such a deeply mystical, spiritual colour that our brain has to create it. it doesn't really exist. And this is why sometimes you might find they're saying, when you go on your tree meditation today, go to the roots, sing the praises of the tree, go into the roots, go down to the crystalline grid. Don't force it, the tree will take you. But they're saying the tree may show you purple or aquamarine. Oh, it's a little bit like, I want to say, it's reminding me of these two energy rays, but it's literally, it's a kind of magenta purple, not kind of imperial purple. And then the aquamarine is that wonderful, indescribable frequency that the sea has at times when it's blue-green. So, this being surrounded by this energy in the real world, it's like this, it's, I want to say this is like a celestial city, but it isn't a celestial city. In fact, it's like the real world that's being fogged over and blurred through too much choice. There are too many things that we're supposed to be doing, and they're asking us to focus on removing all these choices and just see the important part at the moment is to get through this energetic journey, because this is like the now, and what's coming is destruction of the now, or a think of it as like a Lego building. You've built a lovely Lego house and it's taken you all your life to build it, and now they're saying just take every single brick apart and start again, build something new. So this is what's coming in, regardless of whether we're ready for it. The difference is, if you do shadow work, if you look at your own emotions and fix them, you can go through this next few weeks with a sense of calm, compassionate love. If you don't do the shadow work, it's just going to bite you in the arse. It's going to make you feel so distorted. So, where's that leading? To a complete karmic renewal, eventually. But this is the setup moment. I also want to point out that this is very much like a third eye. And it's like bringing together fire and fire. It's like a new, oh, thank you. It's the molecules that flash in and out, 3 and the 6 that I talk about all the time. The 3 and the 6 molecules from the Nikola Tesla code, they're the positive and negative electrons that flash in and out of existence. But while they're flashing here, that 3 molecule is also flashing here in another dimension. Okay, and then the 6s are doing the same over here, and they're missing this divine 9 energy. Now, for the next few weeks, that divine 9 energy is going to start to trickle in to everything. It's going to start being this new rewriting frequency, and it's going to mean that the dimensions that we've been buzzing in, suddenly they're going to switch. It's the space in which the electrons are bouncing through different dimensions is going to transform. So that's going to start feeding a different frequency in to every atom everywhere. Okay, so that's the moon trine Saturn on the 11th. Now we're moving to the 12th. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about doesn't exist in my ephemeris, because the ephemeris was about Saturn. It was about this void of course moon. And yes, I know, I haven't picked up the Moonology cards today, we'll see what gives at the end. So the 12th, we have Jupiter goes conjunct with Pluto in Capricorn. And this is the last conjunction before the Great Conjunction. So this is about Jupiter kind of passing over Pluto. It's like the very last moment of this current energy being snuffed out, I guess, would be the best way to say it. And this happens at 21:39 GMT UTC. So Jupiter conjunct Pluto. Jupiter conjunct Pluto. Oh, you need to know the notes. All right, I can hear you. Jupiter. Oh, my speaker's run out of energy, obviously, so I'll have to play it here. I'm absolutely convinced that that fly is dead. I've sung it into submission. It's landed and it hasn't moved, even with me. Oh, and then it took off. Hooray, you're living. It was just being rebirthed. So, I feel like I need to bring this. Maybe I can turn it up a bit. And then Pluto, that's an E. Pluto is the spine. So there's something very harmonious about this moment. So I'm not going to sing those two. They're too high. All right then. So now the spine, Pluto, so there you go. Jupiter and Pluto conjunct. Can we please have some messages? Okay, so 1771. That's interesting. So we have abundance and intuition. Obviously, this is Jupiter, this is Pluto. Jupiter is the bringer of joy, the cornucopia kind of notion of giving us great karmic gifts and raining them down on us. Pluto is the death and rebirth, but it's also connected to the spine. Oh, I just got really massive frequency rush through that ear then. So let's ask for some cards to go with that, please. Can we please have Jupiter conjunct Pluto? So, Jupiter has for a very long time been, every time it goes into conjunction with things, it's been being a weeny bit restrictive, It's been being, it's been being really massively restrictive. It's been tying us up. The point is, it's beginning to change its frequency. And it's moving us. I actually look, there's 2 cards for Jupiter and there's 2 cards for Pluto. What I'm being asked to show you is this 8-8 formation, which is interesting because they want to say linking back to the Lion's Cub Gateway portal yet again was the initial setup point for this recently. This energy that's about to burst open is beginning to flow through the last dying degrees of this Jupiter being still in Capricorn, because it's about to shift on the 19th of December into Aquarius. So this is the moment where it's masking Pluto's heavy death and rebirth energy, and they're kind of wanting to, they're saying that this kind of like cheers moment of bringing the goblets together, this celebration, is to do with Jupiter, Saturn and Pluto. They're all not in the right colours, but the point is it's to do with the way in which these 3 planets are the 3 lords of karma, and they want to point out to me that they're now coming together in a new divine feminine frequency. So they're not behaving in this old restrictive bad thought processing. This is about coming together in a new benevolent gifting frequency. It's almost like the 3 lords of karma are becoming the 3 ladies of karma, and they're bringing in new energetic gifts. So Pluto, what is Pluto's job? The war is over. This great, endless, angry battle is over. There are no winners or losers. That's always the frequency of this card. And there's people, you know, wounded, and this guy's just putting forwards this clarity, but it's also it's like that is the beginning of making that space, this frequency is opening a gap so that the frequency that's coming of the great conjunction, this is like sort of like giving a little score so that when the conjunction comes you can tear open the fold. So this is like putting the key in the lock, but the conjunction will turn the key and allow the door to open. So let's have a shaman for each, please. A shaman for Jupiter. A shaman, please, for Jupiter. So, l'endroit, the realm, it's the reforming of everything. It's that sense that a new space, a new... And Pluto is la magique, la magie, the magic. So we have the realm. Jupiter is recreating, he's rebuilding the space for this celestial city after the tower moment that's coming. And this energy frequency will wrap itself, this new frequency, this magic that's forming, will wrap itself entirely around the world. It's these new harmonic sacred geometry that's changing even the position of electrons inside atoms. That's how much difference is coming. Okay, so that's that lovely moment. Then we have a fly on the end of my finger. Now we have the 13th, obviously divine 13 of November. The moon will square with Saturn in Libra. So it's an energy of trying to find an emotional balance, and then new frequencies will rise out of it. And that takes place at 11:32, and then it goes void. So what do we have? What do we have, please? So, focus, channel your knowledge. This is going back again. We're talking about how this is all to do with this new energetic frequency that's coming in. It's talking about critical judgment. It's also saying you've almost got to be preparing a future diary, predictions, journaling, information. I'm being told as well, it's time to make a list of all the things that no longer serve you and cross them out. You've got to write them down, say them, cross them out. Then begin, turn a new page, write down the things that you wish to replace those frequencies with to move forward. You've got to channel your desires to unmask your truth. This is another reminder, though, of the need to do shadow work to bring you into the light. And then what is coming with that? Sacred wisdom. So, oh, that's really interesting. It's talking about this new moon that's coming is the point at which the sacred wisdom, this channeling of new information that will come down, this new understanding, is the last full moon phase that will take us to the solar eclipse on the 14th. And don't forget, there's also the full moon on the 30th of November is a lunar eclipse. So let's have, what are we on? My brain's gone. Moon square Saturn. So this squaring with Saturn is about being in control of things that rise and fall, like shadow tests, I want to say. Oh, that's a lot of carbs. But they're very simple in their divinity, or what they're saying. Sorry, I'm just focusing on the details here. So you have the Hierophant, and I want to say it is like an epiphany point, but that isn't quite the energy. It's almost like, this is like, as I said before, crossing out. This is like, again, the structures of the old that are keeping us in the dark. The light shining behind, but somehow the old formations, the old beliefs that we have that they're saying you need to write down and cross out, they're casting a darkness over you that you need to remove to move forwards. So then we have the Three of Wands, and it's a similar thing. It's about holding your vision, seeing your future. The boat has a Fool on it. It has the image that's on the back here, which is the Fool card. As if you have to have faith to bring this frequency of newness towards you. It's coming regardless. I need to keep saying that so that people understand. It's coming regardless. It's just how comfortable do you want the ride to be? Because it's not like we reach the 21st and the 14th and then it's all over. There's so much more to come, but what you're trying to do now is the shadow work to prepare yourself to be in the right frequency. And what is the right frequency? To be emotionally strong. Because remember, this is the solar eclipse coming up of the luminous warrior, which is to be emotionally strong. So we're trying to, that's interesting in that she's almost got a similar, structure behind her, but the fact is this is all important and needs breaking down like the Lego. This has been reformed as a kind of a new energetic, I'm going to steal a phrase from Reem, hello Reem, from Miss Reemy's Healings, which is intelligent emotions. It's such a beautiful way to describe what this is talking about. It's a new emotional language, which I often talk about, but by calling them intelligent emotions, Reem's guides have really shown her the most clear way for it to make sense. They're intelligent emotions. So, let's have a chemin. Où est le chemin? What do you want to say, chemin? Oh no, I don't want that one because it didn't fall. It just got caught in my hand. There we go. Way, that was a fun one. So, this is about a rewiring. We're really constantly talking about getting right under the skin of everything that is you, and I want to say this is the first time that I've had that sense of getting under the skin of your relationship with others. It's because we have to remember, I'm being drawn very much towards this heart on her. You can talk about this being stripping everything away, divine masculine, divine feminine, but there's also some energy frequency that's reminding me we're trying to activate the higher heart chakra to go with the lower heart chakra so that we're getting some kind of energetic balance building. Okay, so that's all coming. Now, I'm going to put those over there. Next, we have the 15th. And this is the new moon, which starts at 0507 on the 15th. It's the new moon in Scorpio, but it's also at 11:12 we get the moon goes sextile with Saturn. So this whole day, the 15th, is a real day. If you can find some way of just being free to enjoy the frequency, do it. Go out, listen to birds singing, be with nature, go out and enjoy yourself. But I want to say, it's not a day to share. It's a day to pat yourself on the back for all the amazing things you've been doing to get you to that new moon. So let's just ask first about moon sextile Saturn. So this is a very harmonious energy frequency. Okay, this is a purifying energy. We have the galactic healer and purification. I love this card so much. You see, now she is talking about Sirius again. Are you serious? She's talking about, again, this, which I think I started talking about earlier and didn't finish. It got sidetracked. Pure white consciousness light is, spiritual light is often called white, but it's made up of all the energy frequencies. This is a day of bathing in all of the energy frequencies, being in balance within you, because you've done a tree meditation, you've worked forwards, you've maintained balance on the 11th or 13th. So we're working through a frequency, and this is a day of celebrating how purified you feel. So this is an 18, which is a 9, a divine 9. Because we've got 4 and 6, which is 10, completion and new beginning, and we've got 1 and 7, which is 8, making 18, which is a 9. So this is a very sublime, divine moment to bathe in this divine consciousness that's been raining down since that portal opened on the 11th of the 11th. So let's add some tarot to this. I feel like I want just one more card to go. Can we please have one more card? Can we please have one more card? It sent me 4. Okay, so this is the 7 of Swords. This is about knowing what to take out so that you leave safety to move forward. But there's something about the energy in this card that feels like you just want to grab these last 2 pieces without being noticed, and that's not quite what I'm seeing from it, which was why I was asking for the extra cards. So let's see what the extra cards are trying to say. So we've got again a reference to looking back. If you keep a journal, look back in your journal to the 8-8 portal again. There's something coming up yet again about this reference to the Lion's Cub Gateway portal, which is the beginning of the healing of the inner child. Ah, okay. This is the energy, now it makes sense. This is the energy of fear. Where you have to let go of the fear and purify the fear. Thank you. So, go back into your journal, look at things you've written down, look at the poems that you may have written when we did the poetry work to bring you forwards. Just go back and check whether you really feel you've come into your full balanced strength. The tarot coming with the galactic healer is the star, the healing. This is, I'm getting Syrian energy from Sirius, the star, the blue-white star, the brightest star in the galaxy. It's washing through, it's purifying the emotions. So really, what we need to be seeing is this. I mean, that's powerful, really incredibly powerful imagery of a healing and a day to just bathe yourself in cosmic beauty. So why? Because it's a day of transformation. This is the Death card. This is New Moon in Scorpio. It couldn't be more obvious. And it's about bringing forwards a brand new energy. There's 2 beautiful black crows with blue edges. It's about almost kind of rushing around and pleasing yourself. I'm getting Pluto and Saturn. So we've got Saturn and we've got Pluto from the moon being sextile and us being in Scorpio. So this couldn't be a more perfect card. And they want to kind of say it's time to kind of like put a feather in your cap. So maybe when you're out, ask Spirit to show you feathers that day, just so that you know you're on the right pathway. You know, see if you can find a feather. Where are we heading? We're heading to Knight of Cups, swordfish, cutting through the complicated emotions now, purifying that new frequency. He has his cup. He's still not fully birthed, but there's something I'm really drawn to his eyes today, and there's a word that I want to use for them. I mean, there's something a little bit violety blue. It's almost like there's a frequency of, again, that energy of magenta coming towards you, a new energy frequency building up that's deeply spiritual. Like you will see the world today with slightly more open divine consciousness, spiritual eyes. So let's have a shaman. Oh, there it goes, straight away. So, eternity. Oh look, it is to do with seeing the world differently. This is the rebirth frequency, this changing, this new intelligent emotional language because they've been purified. You've just got to sit in the world and feel the magic, feel connected. This frequency change is now appearing as part of the tree of life, printed inside your body. This is a day of great transformation. So now we're going to end with the full moon itself, the new moon. So what's the frequency that the new moon is wanting us to understand? What is the frequency that the new moon is wanting us to understand? What is the energy that the new moon is wanting us to understand? So, angelic assistance, spirit, Syrians, Elohim, whatever you want to have this is, look, the symbols there yet again. This is like a rebirthing of a very protective Yggdrasil energy all around us. It's also coming with hidden realms, create conscious awareness. This is reminding you that you've gone through a massive journey since the Lion Cub Gateway portal on the 8th of the 8th. And this is reminding you that all of those things that you're now integrating are returning from within you as new frequencies. And that's, I'm getting an echo right back to the very first card. This moon is reminding us that we're heading towards a new frequency. We're moving, we're changing our tune, our internal music of the molecules, our own internal music of the spheres. That it means that the energy around us is changing, and we can lock onto these new energies. They're less dense, they're not going to be so traumatic, but you've got to keep an awareness of those traumas and stand in your, I want to say, spiritual truth. This angel assistance is partly your spirit team around you, but it's really about you accepting your truth. Okay? And then it creates an inner harmony. This is really the journey that Spirit wants to point out, the wisdom of the owl, to be an inner harmony, an inner tune. Your inner music of the spheres has changed. So, New moon, 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 new moon. What do you want to tell us, new moon, new moon, new moon, new moon, new moon, new moon? So, it's been a battle. You've stood up again. You've fought on. Whatever's been thrown at you, you're still getting back up and going with this. And where are we going? From Page of Swords, he's kind of calmed down. It's like the inner child that's no longer stressed out, moving into the real world, emotionally strong, King of Pentacles energy. So this is really about the beginning of the process of, I want to say, believing in the energy that's building towards the solar eclipse. But you first of all got to find this sense of inner calm. This is not necessarily Luminous Warrior, but it's an echo of the Luminous Warrior, with this wonderful pentacle representing the sacral. But this is still not fully placed in the real world. This has got a sense of balance and wisdom, but there's something about the wolf and the deer that are kind of going, come on, there's a little bit more that we've got to get through. So it's not the full journey completed yet, but it's a time to congratulate yourself in the real world for what you've achieved. So what do we have now then at the very end? We've now got 2 flies, one for each heart chakra. Yesterday when I was writing some emails, one kept sitting here on my third eye and was walking around, and then he goes zzz, and then sit back down there. It was so difficult to leave it there and let it do its job. They're doing a little dance in circles. Oh, and there's a third one just arrived on the sofa. I want you to know, I don't stink, and that's why they're here. I've been in the sea and I've had a shower. I'm clean. They just won't leave me alone at the moment. So, what is the purpose of the new moon, La Rancine? To be rancid. To root down into the earth. This is all about, this next part of the ephemeris is really connecting with the Yggdrasil tree of life through natural trees, but understand that the tree of life is a vast network of branches that reaches all the way through the entire cosmos, and then its trunk is you, the connection through your crown and down into the earth, where its roots spread out inside the earth, where you're going down to sign your pre-incarnation contract and connecting into the root of the earth. Okay, and that's an 11, 2 and 9. The master number of the earth grid, and the number of years 11, when the sun switches its poles and either has more bursts of frequency or less. And we've just entered, I think it's the 25th known one. I suppose there's been more than 25, but since we've been observing them. So rooting down, connecting deep within the earth. So we will now end with Moonology. I think I avoided them because I took these out to play with them earlier this morning and they just wouldn't talk to me again. Why not? So, with these various aspects with Saturn leading us to this new moon in Scorpio, what would you like to say to us? Moonology, what single thing... What single thing would you like to say to us too? Do you know what? They're actually quite interesting. So, North Node. Step out of your comfort zone. That's what we're talking about. Don't resist the change, flow with the change, but you have to be brave to do it. So, this is the North Node. Step out of your comfort zone, and then the next card is a full moon in Virgo, which is you are good enough. So there's actually a very lovely message. It's got that lower heart chakra energy frequency, but it's also about work, settling down. I'm getting that frequency again that we started with, that notion that we're heading to a new energetic spring. But this really is talking to me about the sacral. We're heading towards, you've got to believe you are good enough to illuminate your luminous warrior. So step out of your comfort zone. You are good enough. Boris good enough. Okay, so I'm sure that's a really long reading. Oh, not bad. 106-ish. Felt like that went on forever. But that's the next part of the ephemeris. And there'll be other readings coming for the next different parts of that. But I needed to get this one out there. I am going to do a separate new moon reading. That's just to get us through the ephemeris. Anyway. Wassail Beautiful People.